Hello my dear students, welcome to the Value Education class. Today's Value Education topics are Sparky Hooves and the Day of Silence. We have already done Sparky Hooves, but still we'll do a quick recapitulation of the chapter and we'll do the exercises, okay? And from the Day of Silence, we will again do a quick recapitulation as well as the exercises, okay? So let's begin with these chapters of class 4, okay? So the first chapter that we'll cover today is Sparky Hooves. So let me tell you the story. Rocky felt bad that his schoolmates were picking on him often. An older boy who saw this narrated the story of Sparky Hooves to him. Sparky Hooves was a fighting bull who lived outside a farmer's house. He watched bullfighting on televisions and prepared himself for the day when he may have to face that situation. Finally, when he entered the bull ring, he remained still, determined not to react when the bullfighter or the crowd provoked him. Due to lack of amusement, the crowd started booing and the organizers decided to change the bull. Sparky Hooves was never sent for bullfighting after this because people knew that he would not provide any entertainment. He returned back to the farmer's house and continued to live his life in peace. The older boy told that just as Sparky Hooves was provoked by the crowd for entertainment, Rocky was also provoked by his friends to see how angry he would become. But if he stops reacting, they would get bored and move on to someone else who could amuse them better when provoked. At first, Rocky found it difficult to put this advice into practice, but in a few days, the people who bullied him got bored and stopped picking on him. I hope the story is clear. Okay, we should avoid talking to people who bully or hurt us. Stay near your friends who like you. Do not express your fear by crying or becoming angry. If you cry, most likely the bully will trouble you more. If bullying involves slapping, beating, pushing, or even threatening, report it to your teacher or your parents and take their help. It is not a good idea to deal with such situations alone. Now, what do we learn from this story? From this story, we learn that teasing and bullying involve mocking at someone or ridiculing someone. Teasing is generally a no-harm, friendly banter. Teasing is quite common among friends and family. It is a way of expressing humor as well as love. It does not involve mocking at a person's appearance, race, religion, status, or capability. However, harmless teasing becomes bullying. If the person who is teased feels hurt, bullying is not about just having fun. The intention is to hurt someone and bring down the victim's self-esteem and confidence. Hence, bullying is wrong as it hurts another person's sentiments. You should neither bully someone nor allow anyone to bully you. The best way to avoid getting bullied is to ignore people who try to have fun by hurting you. Do not lose your confidence if you are teased by your friends. In order to be confident, you should know how to respect yourself. Be brave. Do not get provoked or show that you are helpless by crying or getting angry. If bullying involves physical pain, report it immediately to your school authorities or elders. I hope it's clear to you. So children, don't ever play with someone's feelings. You could win the game, but you could lose that person forever. Always remember this. Now we'll move on to the exercise part. So take out your copies and get ready for the exercises, okay? The first exercise that we have from this chapter is answer the following questions. So children, write it down. Answer the following questions. Number 1. What upset Rocky the most? What upset Rocky the most? I hope you all know the answer. Some of Rocky's schoolmates had been teasing him as they did it quite often, and that upset Rocky the most. Some of Rocky's schoolmates had been teasing him as they did it quite often, and that upset Rocky the most. Okay, this is the answer of the first question. Now, what is the second question? What do you learn from the story Sparky Hooves? What do you learn from the story Sparky Hooves? The answer to this question is, from the story Sparky Hooves, we learn that we should neither bully someone nor allow anyone to bully us. From the story Sparky Hooves, we learn that we should neither bully someone nor allow anyone to bully us. Okay? Question number 3. Why was Sparky Hooves never again put in a bull ring? Why was Sparky Hooves never again put in a bull ring? The answer to this question is, Sparky Hooves was never again put in a bull ring because everyone knew that he would provide no amusement. Sparky Hooves was never again put in a bull ring because everyone knew that he would provide no amusement. The last question, why was Sparky Hooves taken into the bull ring? Why was Sparky Hooves taken into the bull ring? Answer is, Sparky Hooves was a fighting bull. The bullfighter took Sparky to a bull ring because the crowd wanted to have fun at his expense. Sparky Hooves was a fighting bull. The bullfighter took Sparky to a bull ring because the crowd wanted to have fun at his expense. Now the next part is fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks, okay? Dash was on the patio crying. Dash was on the patio crying. The answer is Rocky. Rocky was on the patio crying. Number 2, Sparky Hooves was a fighting Dash. Sparky Hooves was a fighting Dash. And the answer is bull. Sparky Hooves was a fighting bull. The Dash started whistling and booing. The Dash started whistling and booing. The answer is crowd. The crowd started whistling and booing. Number 4, the Dash got bored with Rocky. The Dash got bored with Rocky. Answer, the bullies got bored with Rocky. Okay. Next we have answer in one word. Children, I hope all of you are copying everything down. Okay. Answer in one word. Number 1. This was next to the farmer's house. This was next to the farmer's house. And the answer is field. Number 2. He was being jabbed in the back. He was being jabbed in the back. Who was being jabbed? Sparky. Okay. Number 3. He tried to provoke Sparky. He tried to provoke Sparky. The answer is bullfighter. Next, they took Sparky here. They took Sparky here. That is bull ring. Number 5. He tried to put this advice into practice. He tried to put this advice into practice. What is the answer? Who tried to put the advice into practice? The answer is Rocky. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next chapter, that is the Day of Silence. Okay. The chapter name is the Day of Silence. So let me give you a quick recap of the chapter. Reggie was a normal boy, but he was born deaf. Though people in town were fond of him, they treated him differently. This made him upset. His friend Michael did not like it too and decided that things had to change. Michael convinced his father that they should dedicate one day to deaf people in honor of Reggie. The day came to be known as the Day of Silence. On that day, people stuck earplugs such that they could not hear anything and started realizing how difficult it was to lead such a life. Besides, they came to know that Reggie was creative and intelligent, and he could communicate with others quite easily with his usual gestures. From that day, whenever visitors came to their town, people welcomed them joyfully and plonked a helmet on their head such that they couldn't hear anything, in order to make them realize the lesson they had learned on the Day of Silence. Okay? So children, what did we learn from the story? We learned that we should not think that people who are differently abled are abnormal. We should not make them uncomfortable by showing them sympathy. If we treat them differently, we would end up hurting their feelings without even realizing. We should never underestimate the capabilities of a person just because they are differently abled. Rather, we should observe them closely and learn how they deal with various situations cleverly and overcome their limitations. So children, I hope the chapter is clear to you. From your book, that is page number 21 and 22, you will do choose the correct option. Okay? From the Day of Silence, this chapter, page number 21 and 22, there are choose the correct options. Okay? That you will do on your own. And from this chapter, that is Sparky Hooves, page number 9, you have true, false and choose the correct option. That also you will do on your own. Okay? Now we'll move to the next slide. Let's see. Okay, give respect, get respect. So children, always remember, if you give respect to others, you will get respect accordingly. If you don't give respect, you will not get any respect. Okay? Treat others the way you want yourself to be treated. The way you will treat others, others will also treat you in the same way. So always remember, we should treat others very nicely. So treat others the way you want to be treated. Now we'll move on to the exercise part, that is answer the following questions. All of you write it down. Answer the following questions. Number 1. What kind of a boy was Reggie? What kind of a boy was Reggie? The answer is Reggie was an intelligent boy. He was a normal boy, but he was born deaf. Reggie was an intelligent and a normal boy, but he was born deaf. Okay. Next, number 2. How was Reggie treated differently as compared to other people in the town? How was Reggie treated differently as compared to other people in the town? The answer is, unfortunately, Reggie was always treated differently. Children were worried that they would hurt him. Adults thought that he was incapable of understanding them, as though he was some kind of a baby. Unfortunately, I repeat, Reggie was always treated differently. Children were worried that they would hurt him. Adults thought that he was incapable of understanding them, as though he was some kind of a baby. Okay, now I'll move to the last question, that is question number 3. If you had a friend like Reggie, think of 3 ways that you would help him or her at school. If you had a friend like Reggie, think of 3 ways that you would help him or her at school. The answer to this question is, the 3 ways that I would help him or her at school are, the 3 ways by which I would help my friend who is similar to Reggie at school are, I should not think of any people that they are abnormal. Okay, I should not make him or her uncomfortable by showing him or her sympathy. I should never underestimate him or her. I repeat, I should not think that this kind of people are abnormals. I should not make him or her uncomfortable by showing her sympathy, and I should never underestimate her. Okay? If you have some more points, you can write it, except these 3 which I told. If you have any points of your own, you can write it down. Okay? Next we have fill in the blanks. Right? Children, fill in the blanks. Okay? So the first one, children were dash that they would hurt Reggie. Children were worried that they would hurt Reggie. I repeat, children were, the answer is worried that they would hurt Reggie. Number 2, one day dash decided that things had to change. One day dash decided that the things had to change. And the answer is Michael. M-I-C-H-A-E-L. Michael. One day Michael decided that things had to change. Number 3, dash saw a whole new side of Reggie. Dash saw a whole new side of Reggie. The answer is people. People saw a whole new side of Reggie. People saw a whole new side of Reggie. Number 4, Reggie needed was a little more time than others to dash. Reggie needed was a little more time than others to dash. And the answer is communicate. So, Reggie needed was a little more time than others to communicate. C-O-M-M-U-N-I-C-A-T-E. Communicate. Okay. Now I am moving to the next slide. That is answer in one word. Children, write down answer the followings in one word. Number 1, Reggie could not do this. Reggie could not do this. The answer is Hear, H-E-A-R, hear. Reggie could not hear. Number 2, everyone in the town had to wear this. Everyone in the town had to wear this. The answer is earplugs. Number 3, Michael's father was this in the town. Michael's father was this in the town. And the answer is mayor. M-A-Y-O-R, mayor. Okay? So children, I hope all of you have noted everything down in your copies and you have understood the chapters very well. Okay? So that's all for today's class. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.